In America, we have a lot of mass shootings, but there was a recent one in school which hit me hard. I keep getting recurring thoughts of children getting killed in a classroom. As a Buddhist, what should I be doing? Yeah, it's really very painful to hear about the senseless killing of small children, and to, all of us can actually not fully comprehend, but we can have a sense of the terrible, terrible suffering of their parents and the people around them, and also the teachers murdered, and their partners, their children, their families. So terrible, so painful. And we all have the same human heart. We all have the same understanding of these things. And as a Buddhist, I feel, we can do the work of just taking in information that we receive from outside, this kind of news. Take it in, contemplate what you feel you've understood, what you feel you know of a situation where there's great suffering, and allow that to do its work. So natural response is to feel great compassion, great sorrow and sadness, and to open to these emotions, open to these mind states. And recognizing, as I've been saying, that the person who is the cause of this kind of suffering, the state of mind of that person, the karma for such a person, it really makes the heart quake to consider this. And when we see clearly, when we clearly consider the situation for all those involved, everyone involved in this terrible happening, we can feel compassion for every one of them. And in the Christian tradition, they have a very mindful practice around what they call intercession. So we hear things going on around us, we hear the news in the world, we hear of the bigger picture through the media. I would say always to have a sense of recognizing that this is not actually something to receive at face value, but just, here's some news. The work of intercession is to take it in, and work with the feelings that arise as a result. And when we do this, and we make peace here with the suffering that we are processing, that we're aware of, that we're feeling the impact of here, then this peacemaking is of benefit to all. And it's a very clear and wise seeing, because in truth we are all connected. There's no individuality, actually. There is just karma, for good or for ill. And so we can, as Buddhists, recognize that we have a work to do. We have a duty to work with karma, work with whatever karma we experience ourselves, whatever we hear about in the world around us, whatever cause and effect comes into the chitta, comes into the mind, to be willing to work with that and let it come to a place of peace. let harm end, as I said. And we all have a part to play, because when we hear about things happening in the world, we can have reactivity towards the news that we hear. We do have naturally have responses, but it's really important for us not to add to the suffering. So feelings of vengefulness, feelings of anger, feelings of hatred, we need to contain such feelings if they arise, which they often do, to contain them, not to act or speak in anger with hatred in the heart, but rather to recognize, well, this is my part. This is a piece that I can turn around. I can make good. I can allow the negative emotions to end right here. And so we each can play our part, have our piece of the situation. As much as we receive, that much we work with. And always to be very conscious that all we can really do is make sure that we don't create any unskillful thoughts, words, or deeds right here. And if unskillful thoughts arise, unskillful emotions, then we can work with them until they've found their way to peace, until we can let go of them, until they've moved through. It's a bit like we're a kind of, a waste disposal system, It can be very wise actually not to take in too much news, because this work can be overwhelming sometimes. So to know when to stop actually taking in painful news from around us. But I'm not advocating indifference or turning away from the world. It's just knowing what's good here, what's good for this one, how not to harm this one. But if we do take in difficult news, then, we really have this work to do. And just know for yourself how much you can process at any one time. But we're a bit like a waste disposal unit in that we can take in a lot of negativity, and as practitioners we can just watch it pass through. That's our work. That's our practice. Wisdom arises from this place. Compassion arises from this work. And then we can offer that into the field. Compassion, offer metta, offer loving kindness into the field, offer our goodness. And remember how incredibly significant that is, And it's not for this one, it's not for us as individuals, but for the whole. And the journey that we're each of us undergoing, the work of liberating the heart, let everything that we learn in the world around us, let all the experiences that we learn about inform us, let them all come to aid us on the path to liberation. How do we do that? We're mindful, we're attentive, we're willing to let go. And, if we can purify our hearts and uproot the greed, the hatred, the anger, the covetousness, the confusion here, this really is the best we can do. It's the best we can offer. It's the most peaceful and kind work that can be done.